Guys, how's it going? Masterbucks here. Welcome to this Champions League draw reaction video and prediction video. Today we're going to be taking a look back over the predictions that I made in my first Champions League video when it was the round of 16 draw, and I'm very happy with how I did. I didn't get them all, but I was very bloody close. And on top of that, we're also going to take a look at the quarterfinal draw as well to see who gets who in the quarterfinals. So then, before we get underway with the reaction and the predictions for the quarterfinals, let's go back over the round of 16. Manchester City getting Monaco, big result for them, and I expect them to get through the round of 16. Hopefully, not maybe comfortably, but they should get the job done against Monaco. Yes, I did predict Manchester City, like I would imagine most people, to try to get through Monaco in the round of 16. But, of course, we completely underestimated how fucking fragile Manchester City are in European competitions, even when they have got Pep Guardiola. It didn't go well for them. It went very well for them in the first game, even though they did go down quite a fair bit, and it ended up being a 5-3 win in one of the best Champions League games in the knockout stage ever. It was a sensational game to watch. Even if you're a neutral, it was just brilliant. And yeah, the second leg, they kind of capitulated. They fell apart. They absolutely got, not necessarily whacked by Monaco, but they lost 3-1 and they go out on away goals. It's almost like Manchester City are just cursed. Like they cannot do a thing in European football. I don't think a single season in these last 5 or 6 or however long they've been considered one of the best teams in the world for, they've really been able to live up to what I think is expected of them in Europe. They've again fallen round of 16, along with Arsenal, of course, another English club being knocked out, and again, very poor representation for or from English clubs in the Champions League. I mean, the only team left in it is Leicester City. How the fuck that happened? But yeah, Monaco go through, and I think fair play to them. They definitely deserve to go through. I think over the course of the 2 legs, they probably showed that they were the better team out of those 2 games, and yeah, fair play to them. Napoli beating Real Madrid, I just don't see it. Of course, Real Madrid versus Napoli. That was a relatively easy game to call. Obviously, Real Madrid were probably going to get through, and of course they did. Ended up being, what, 6-2 on aggregate. Even though Napoli did make it pretty interesting toward the start of the second leg, really, in the end, Real Madrid were going to coast. Maybe not coast through, but I definitely didn't see Napoli as really putting up much of a fight to Real Madrid. And I think, in the end, fair credit to them, they actually did a little bit more than I expected them to. But again, Madrid pretty much going through. Not exactly comfortably, but going through regardless. Benfica versus Borussia Dortmund, and again, another fixture that I feel pretty confident in saying that Dortmund should be the ones that go through in that one. Again, we got that one right as well. Went with another pretty safe option there. I know that some people have a tendency to underrate Portuguese teams, but Dortmund against Benfica, I think a lot of people know a fair bit about Dortmund, maybe not so much about Benfica, and a lot of people expected Dortmund to go through. And even though the first leg made things pretty interesting, I think in the second leg, Dortmund made up for it very, very well. And yes, they are going to be going through. And you know I'm just going to pick the best team in Germany. No, it's not Leipzig. It is fucking Bayern Munich. And they are going to go through. They are going to beat Arsenal. And Arsenal are going to get knocked out again in the round of 16. And just what can you say about this fucking fixture between Bayern Munich and Arsenal that hasn't already been said? I tried to give Arsenal every single benefit of the doubt that I possibly could have, but in the end, it didn't even matter, and they got absolutely fucking embarrassed and murdered by Bayern Munich. 5-1 in the first leg, 5-1 in the second leg, 10-2 on aggregate. Bayern Munich have never looked any more comfortable in their lives in the round of 16. To be fair to Arsenal, I think we can obviously say that they did put up a little bit of the fight at the start of each of the 2 legs, but they just dropped their heads pretty much sometimes before the end of the first half, toward the start of the second. They just completely capitulated and just let Bayern walk all over the top of them. A lot of people can very easily sleep on Portuguese teams, so maybe that won't be as straightforward as what some people think it is, but you'd still expect Juventus to be going through there. A lot of people did expect Juventus to go through, and a lot of people were right. Juventus did go through. It was a 3-0 win across the board over the 2 legs on aggregate. And yeah, Porto, I didn't really see too much of those games. I tried to watch as much as possible, but Porto again, I mean, when you compare it, when you're put up against a team like Juventus, who are just dominating Italian football, have been for God knows how long, and have got some incredible players like Paulo Dybala and Higuain, and just so many other players that are just killing it right now. Obviously, a lot of people thought Juventus were going to go through, and they did. Leverkusen, maybe again, could challenge, but you would think Atletico Madrid, one of the better teams in Spain, should be able to go through. And Atletico Madrid, one of the better teams in Spain, did indeed go through. The first leg was a 2-4 away win for Atletico, so really, they were just setting themselves up to just coast through in the second leg, and The second leg ended up being a pretty fucking awful game of football. It was like a 0-0. I don't want to say it was an awful game, but a goalless draw is never really much fun. So yeah, I think Barcelona will get through, but I think it will be close. I said it would be close. I said it would be a battle, but no one could have predicted what happened in that PSG versus Barcelona game. That was unbelievable. 6-5 on aggregate is what it finished up as, and just wow. You will never see a better comeback in the knockouts of the Champions League ever again. I personally, everyone obviously thinks it's the Istanbul comeback because it's like probably the most famous comeback in football. The fact that they did it 3-0 down with a half left to play in the Champions League final. Part of me wants me to actually put the Barcelona comeback above Liverpool, because I feel like it's more impressive what they did. The fact that it was in a final is why everyone hypes up the Istanbul comeback. And again, fair play, of course, it was in a final, but oh man, Barcelona, they got through. It was an incredible, incredible fixture. Those two games were something else, and Barcelona going through. And again, got every single one of my predictions right. There's one more game left to go. Everyone except for that Man City game. I'm so filthy that I did not fucking pick Monaco. I kind of want to pick one upset, just one upset in the round of 16. And I think I'm going to do it for fucking Leicester City. Why not? And it pays to be brave, ladies and gentlemen. Leicester City did end up beating Sevilla. So I went 7 out of 8 for the games in the round of 16. Unfortunately, Man City had to bottle it against Monaco. I would have gone a perfect 8 for 8. I would have been so happy, but unfortunately not to be. But how about it, guys? Leicester City going through. They've done it against Sevilla. And a part of me thinks if they don't get drawn up against Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern, or just a ridiculously huge, massive club that will probably just wipe the floor with them and absolutely pump them. If they get, I don't know, like a Monaco or, I don't know, let's see, who else? Atletico, maybe, potentially. I don't know. They could fucking do it. They could maybe go even further. I don't know, but we will see. I think there are definitely teams that are still available that Leicester City still do have a shot at. And so there you have it, guys. They are the matchups for the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and there are some huge ones in there. The biggest one by far being Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. All right, then, they are finally getting underway. Here we go. Let's do this. I think Ian Rush is out there for the first draw of the ball, and I wonder who it's going to be. He's cracking it open. I'm genuinely... My team is not even in this. I don't care about any of them, and yet I still get chills. I don't know why, but it's just so cool. Fuck, he's taking his time, Ian. All right, then. Atletico Madrid becomes the first name or club taken out. And they are going to face... He's got the second one. I don't even fucking care. I don't even support any of these teams. Why is it so intriguing? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Who has Atletico Madrid got? This is going to be the first matchup. Ian Rush is the fucking slowest person I've ever seen do this. Leicester City. Oh, there we go. We were wondering who they were going to get. Atletico Madrid versus Leicester City is the first match of the Champions League. Holy fuck. I mean, if they did it against Sevilla, are they an actual genuine chance of maybe being able to do it to Atletico Madrid? I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, next club out is going to be Borussia Dortmund. It's Monaco. So the two clubs that people saw as potential good draws are out. They're gone already. It's Dortmund versus Monaco. I'll leave my predictions for the end of the video, but there you go. I think that means now, can Barcelona and Real Madrid play each other in the quarterfinals, or is that not a possibility? Does it have to be in the semis? Well, we got Bayern Munich right there. It was spelled. It wasn't spelled Munich on the card, and so it messed me up a little bit. But Bayern Munich is the next team. Is it going to be? Are we going to have a potential El Clasico again? I think I know how it works, but I'm not sure. It's Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. What a massive game that is, and that means that it's going to be Barcelona versus Juventus in the fourth match of the quarterfinals. Wow. Some matchups that we've got right there. How about it though? Bayern versus Real Madrid. They're just going through with the confirmation bullshit. There you go, Juventus, which obviously means the other ball in the fucking bowl is going to be Barcelona. Wow. Juve v Barcelona is going to be an interesting one as well, but there you freaking go. Now, the first game that was decided today was Atletico Madrid versus Leicester City, and I said that if Leicester City don't get paired up against one of the biggest clubs that they have available in the Champions League, that there's still a chance of going even further in this competition. And they have only gone and got Atletico Madrid, which I feel like is probably, I don't know if they're going to end up being the absolute best team that Leicester City could have drawn, but I'm telling you what, man, seriously. There's a strong, massive part of me that thinks if they did it against Sevilla, why can't they do it against Atletico? Because I kind of have them almost on the same level. I don't know at the moment. I know Sevilla are doing phenomenally in La Liga, but I mean, guys, it could happen. A strong part of me thinks it will. I didn't really give them much of a chance against Sevilla. I just sort of said, oh, bugger it, yeah, sure. I'll pick Leicester City, but I definitely didn't feel confident in that decision. But now part of me thinks, could they do it again? The romantic in me wants to pick Leicester City. And I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for Leicester City. Let's go. Bugger it. You only live once. Let's move on to the next game. Now for the next game as well. And this one is going to be Dortmund versus Monaco. Now, I know that Real Madrid are normally the team that sort of get accused of having the pretty easy run in Champions Leagues, but that's put to bed now with the fixture that they just got. But anyway, I'm now going to defer that to Dortmund because, wow, Dortmund have had to play... they've had to play what? I've literally forgotten who they played in the round of 16 already. Wow, that's amazing. They had to play Benfica. It wasn't super comfortable for them, or at least in the first leg, but in the second leg, they took care of business. And now they're going to get to play Monaco, who I think a lot of people thought of, apart from Leicester City, as probably the best team to get. I know that they have just done very, very well against Manchester City. They put bloody 6 past them, for crying out loud, although they definitely conceded 6 themselves as well. But still, I still think a lot of people had Monaco as one of the teams they would have liked to have drawn if they were anybody else. And bloody Dortmund have got them. So Dortmund could be going through to a semi-final unless Monaco again really put it together with that squad that they have. I think it's capable. I think it is possible. And I know that Dortmund are actually they're missing Royce at the moment, but they've got Dembele and Aubameyang that are just firing on all cylinders. Pulisic is looking really good as well. I think I'm going to go with Dortmund. Dortmund getting through to the semi-finals. Now for the biggest one, and it is absolutely the biggest one. You cannot say that it is. Maybe Barcelona and Juventus could give them a run for their money depending on how good the games end up, but Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, are you kidding me? That is like Champions League final caliber level that we're talking about, and it's happening in the quarterfinal. Part of me thought that Real Madrid were really, really a good, genuine shot of winning the Champions League this year because they looked like, at the start of the season, probably the best team in the world, maybe up there with Bayern Munich. I don't think Barcelona had that great a start. They've sort of come back into it recently, but again, they look shaky. Like, they just had this amazing win against PSG, this incredible comeback, and then they lost their next league game. Like, what the fuck? You don't know what Barcelona team you're getting. There is a genuine chance that when I'm doing my Champions League semi-final reaction, and I'm going back over my predictions, that I could have fucked this up and I could be 0 of 3. But I'm going to go Real Madrid for this one. And then the final game, another massive game, a huge blockbuster. This, one of the best teams in Spain, or maybe potentially the best team in Spain, going up against easily the best team in Italy. It is Juventus versus Barcelona, and it is a rematch of the 2015 final. I think a lot of people will be quick to go for Barcelona because I think after they actually made that comeback against PSG, they rocketed right up to become the favourites to win the competition outright. I don't know what team Barcelona is going to... I don't know what they're going to be like in these 2 legs against Juventus. I don't know how hard Juventus are going to make it for them in order to break them down, because we all know Juventus' defense is almost what they're known for. They're absolutely stellar at that. They could shut them out. They could be very, very hard to break down, and Juventus might be able to snag a couple against Barcelona, who have been known to have a bit of a shaky defense. As a matter of fact, I was a little bit leaning... I was half and half at the moment, slightly leaning toward Barcelona. Do I pick another upset? I've already gone with Leicester City versus Atletico. Do I pick one more upset? I fucking love Barcelona. I wouldn't call myself a massive supporter or anything of them, but trust me, I do like them. I'm not sure if they're going to go through past Juventus. These are some risky fucking picks, I know. I'm picking Leicester to beat Atletico. I'm picking Real Madrid over Bayern. I'm picking fucking Juventus over Barcelona, but I'm sticking with them, and these are my predictions. And so, there you go. It's, oh, mate, I'm definitely not playing it safe, and I am genuinely worried that when I do my semi-final video, oh man, it might look bad. It might look very bad. I might have gone from being 7 and 8 correct in the round of 16 to fucking 0 and 4. I don't know, but who can call these games, man? If you've enjoyed the video, then of course, be sure to leave a like down below. I'd really appreciate it. And maybe subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. And of course, I'll be doing more of these videos for more Champions League matches, of course, when we do the semi-finals. Until next time, guys, my name is Masterbucks. If you did enjoy this video, you can click on this one here. And of course, there will be more football and more FIFA videos coming out very, very soon. More career mode, more everything. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Masterbucks, and until next time, have a good one.